Danganronpa V3, or New Danganronpa V3, is the latest game in the series, and one of the most interesting ones since this was the first mainline game that came out when the fandom was prevalent. While I had a solid grasp of what my opinions were for Trigger Happy Havoc and Goodbye Despaircast, I didn't really know my overall opinion on this one. I guess that, in a way, it'd be fun figuring out how I feel about each of the characters, and how I will compare them to the casts of the previous two games. Let's begin.
Oh, yeah. My name is Kaede Akamatsu. I'm the ultimate pianist. Nice to meet you.
This opinion might be slightly unpopular, but Kaede is my second least favorite protagonist, only next to Makoto. It's probably because I wasn't really able to connect to her personally, and that she didn't really feel like a protagonist to me, which was funny because I had no idea about the fact she wasn't. This isn't to say that Kaede is a poorly written character. In fact, I think she was written masterfully for what she was. I feel like Kaede is a representation of the wants of the Danganronpa fans. Having her try to end the killing game before it starts represents how fans are tired of the same old formula and want something new to happen. Kaede's talent, personality, and gender also represent the fans' want for something different, since the previous two protagonists have both been talentless men who don't think they're good enough. I also like how she's a fake protagonist because it perfectly sets up the theme of truth and lies and how the protagonist herself was a lie. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but V3 has the best themes by far. The themes of truth and lies has been integrated into everything, and I could make an entire video about it, but it would probably be as long as this one. I'm actually kind of happy that Kaede died in Chapter 1 because characters like her and Togami are meant to die this early in the game. 8 out of 10.
I'm Shuichi Saihara. They call me the ultimate detective, but...
Well, here's the other protagonist I was talking about. Similar to how Kaede is my second least favorite protagonist, Shuichi is my second favorite. I think what makes Shuichi such a wonderful protagonist is that not only is he a protagonist that viewers can connect with, but he is also a fully fleshed out character in his own right. He has a distinct and tragic backstory that meshes with the themes of truth and lies, and goes on a defined character arc where he has to learn the importance of finding the truth with the help of his buddies Kaito and Maki. I feel like part of the reason why he became such a good character is that he was non-playable in the first chapter. This allows his character to get built up in a way other protagonists just couldn't. We have already gained a connection to Shuichi when we played as Kaede, so when it's time for him to be the protagonist, we have already formed a positive impression on him, making us happy that he is now playable. In a way, that means that both Kaede and Shuichi's existences have helped shape each other as characters, which I think is very cool. 9 out of 10. The thing about the Monocubs is that they are a setup without a punchline. Throughout the game, we get to see their unique dynamic with each other and their father, how the two sides pretend to be a happy family when you can feel the hatred boiling on the inside, and how, in Chapter 3, Monodam even overthrown Monokuma. You'd think that with such interesting conflict, there would be a very climactic reveal for who the Monocubs really are, but no. In Chapter 6, when all is revealed, we hear nothing about the Monocubs. I just feel like this is a really missed opportunity because they genuinely could have been very interesting characters, but since they got nothing, all the Monocubs have are...
Rantaro's head is busted! One solid whack should make him remember!
Ouch! Where am I? Where's Kaoru?
What? Your character's completely...
But by far the biggest missed opportunity of the Monocubs is that they aren't even spelled with a Z. 3 out of 10.
My name is Anji Yonaga. I'm the ultimate artist.
Similar to Gundam, Anji used to be one of my favorite characters, but as time went on, I started to get more tired of her shtick. Also like Gundam, I still really enjoy Anji, and I find her style of humor to be very unique. I love how her religion has membership deals and stuff, it's great. I don't really have much else to talk about. I guess I could talk about our student council recruitment, which not many enjoyed. Personally, I feel like it serves the themes about how some lies can help improve the happiness of others, and whether a harsh truth is better than a beautiful lie or not. 7 out of 10.
Gonta want to become gentlemen! Becoming true gentleman Gonta's goal.
To be honest, I have mixed thoughts about Gonta. On one hand, he's a nice guy and his scene in Case 4 was genuinely heartbreaking. On the other hand, he kinda gives me creepy vibes occasionally. I think it all comes down to his voice acting. I probably would have hated him a lot more if he wasn't voiced as excellently as he is currently. It perfectly encapsulates his single-minded but lovable nature while also making his cave speak infinitely funnier. In the end, I think Gonta's good, but not much more. 6 out of 10.
But I'm officially called the Ultimate Magician.
Out of all the surviving members of Danganronpa in general, I'd say that Himiko was the least expected, but that certainly isn't a bad thing. I love this character. I really like the concept of a magician that thinks she's a real mage that uses real magic. It's just such a creative idea that I haven't seen done before. I also like her tired and grumpy personality, and I find it very endearing. Himiko isn't just a gimmick, however, as she develops as a character over Case 3. Overall, Himiko's a great character, but if there's one thing about Himiko that I'm not a fan of, it's that her character arc is a tad bit too similar to Fuyuhiko's. That being said, Himiko is one of my favorite V3 characters. 8.5 out of 10.
I'm Kaito Momota, luminary of the stars. Even crying children adore the ultimate astronaut.
You know how I said there would be another Sonia later in this series? Well, this is him. I actually got spoiled that Kaito killed someone really early on in V3, so I hated it when Kaito tried to get buddy-buddy with Shuichi, believing it was all an act. Of course, while Kaito did kill someone, he was genuinely a nice guy. Looking at him now, I feel like Kaito is more interesting as a symbol rather than as a character. When I thought of him as just another character, I found him to be quite boring because I feel like that's not how you should examine him. I've been analyzing the themes of V3 and will make a video about it later, so in short, Kaito is a symbol for belief and trust, and his behavior and relationships show when and if you should believe in others. So yeah, don't care about him as a character, but he's a pretty neat symbol for V3's themes. 6.5 out of 10.
I am K1B0, the ultimate robot. But please, address me as Kibo.
Speaking of my favorite V3 characters, here's another one. I think Kibo is actually quite similar to Himiko in that both have wonderful personalities by themselves, but grow to become even greater characters later in the game. Kibo also doesn't have Himiko's flaw in that her redemption arc was already done before, so he's actually better than her in some ways. 9 out of 10.
I am Kirumi Tojo, the ultimate maid. Please let me know if you require my service.
If there's one Danganronpa character that I would say is too gimmicky, it would have to be her. That being said, the gimmick she has is pretty funny. As the ultimate maid, she is able to do anything you ask. And by anything, I mean anything. Including running Japan as its prime minister. Ah, you thought I'd say something else, didn't you? Well, her gimmick is pretty funny and used well in her motive. There's not much else to her besides that. I mean, I guess she gets called Mom a lot, but that's just another gimmick to add on to the pile. 5 out of 10.
I'm Kokichi, the ultimate supreme leader.
You've probably already figured this out by process of elimination, but Kokichi is my favorite rival of the series, hands down. You've probably seen in this video that I love characters that are able to do multiple successful things at once, and Kokichi is one of those characters. Not only is he a really funny comic relief character, but he's also a really compelling rival. I feel like out of all the rivals, Kokichi is the one that best relates to the themes of the game. And Kokichi does a lot more than just be a guy who lies a bunch, or worse, say the word lie a bunch. He actually shows reasons as to why people lie, and does really cool stuff with them, such as how each and every one of Kokichi's, as well as the rest of the cast's statements, are completely ambiguous unless proven true or false. Sort of like the Poe's law of lies. That's so cool. I also like how he goes out of his way to be as awful as a human being as possible. I love antagonists like that, which I said in my Twist Villains video. I don't really have any negative things to say about him besides being maybe seen as cringy to others. I feel like Kokichi's a character that you would either love or hate depending on your sense of humor and tastes. But with me, I love him. 10 out of 10.
My name is Correcyo Shinguchi. I am called the ultimate anthropologist.
Correcyo is kind of a weird one to talk about. Since his killer reveal and execution had the strongest impression on me, I often forget what he's like before Case 3 and... Wait a minute, haven't I heard this before? Oh, I remember now. This guy is literally just a male version of Celeste. Think about it for a second. Both start off as calm, intelligent, self-aware, and somewhat sarcastic at the beginning of the game, taking the true neutral stance throughout the game. Then, when the third case comes around and they turn out to be murderers, they lose their tempers and turn out to have the worst motives in the series. I feel like it's even worse, as people have complained that Korecyo's murder had some serious missed potential in Case 3 with how only the first murderer gets punished. Frankly, I feel like they should have changed up his murder because this guy needs something, anything that can distinguish himself from Celeste.
I will not fear. I will not back down. Sweet Correcyo, calm yourself. Their words are all hollow.
I guess that works. So I've talked about how this dude's one of those cheap knockoffs you find at the dollar store that state they will give you infinite pleasure on the box. But what do I think about Kyo on his own? Well, I think he's alright, I guess. Yeah, I surprisingly don't have a strong opinion on this guy. At least they ripped off a good character. He certainly gave me the heebie-jeebies, which I think was intentional, so, good job. I distinctly remember him talking about how humanity is beautiful, which really reminded me of Nagito. Potential love child, perhaps? So, all in all, I do feel like he may float your boat for some. If you were to ask me how I feel about him, I'd say I prefer the original. 5 out of 10.
Maki Harukawa, Ultimate Child Caregiver.
Well, it's pretty obvious who they are in the previous two games. V3 doesn't really have a solid assistant character due to the protagonist swap. Some say it's Shuichi, others say it's Kaede, but for me, I always saw Maki as the token assistant character when Shuichi was around. But looking at it now, I'd say Kaito actually fits the role the most. Regardless of whether she falls into that archetype or not, I'd say she's pretty dull and bland. She kinda reminds me of Kyoko, but she says, "Do you wanna die?" a lot. Maki isn't all that bad though. She does contribute to the overall themes of V3 in that her character is focused on skepticism, which contrasts with Kaito's emphasis on trust. That being said, contributing to the overall themes of a game does not automatically make Maki an interesting character in her own right. 4 out of 10.
Bullshit, damn. Fucking shit. Fucking ass. Shit. Hell, fucking cock ass. Fucking fuck.
My name is Rantaro Amami. I can't remember my ultimate talent at the moment. But I promise, I'm not a bad guy. Nice to meet you.
Honestly, I don't have much to talk about Rantaro. He's just a red herring through and through, and while he's a good red herring, he's not much else outside of it. This can best be seen with the Ultimate Talent Development Plan, where the only thing he does is talk about traveling a lot. There's a saying that a good character can be interesting in almost any situation, which sadly does not apply to Rantaro. Though, I do have to say that the fact that he survived a killing game is quite cool, and I never really thought about someone winning a killing game until then. 5.5 out of 10.
Ryoma Hoshi, the man called the Ultimate Tennis Pro, no longer exists. I'm nothing more than his empty shell.
I love Ryoma both ironically and unironically. He's a very strange character in that I both take him seriously and also find everything he does humorous. Just think about his character. He looks like this, sounds like this, and is able to beat the mafia with his tennis skills, and is a convicted murderer. That's hilarious! But even so, the writers were also able to make me genuinely sympathize with him. The fact that he's able to blur the lines between irony and seriousness also somewhat relates to the theme of truth and lies. When someone says they like a character ironically, it generally means that they are pretending to like them, aka they're lying about liking said character. However, ironically enjoying something usually leads to unironic enjoyment, showing how lies can become the truth. Overall, Ryoma is one of those really cleverly thought out characters that I enjoy so much from the series. 8.5 out of 10.
Shirogane. I'm the ultimate cosplayer.
I know I said this 2 times before, but I find it really fitting that I'm ending this video off with Tsumugi Shirogane, considering what she's most known for in the game. I'm also happy that I'm finishing off with a character that I have a strong opinion of, because I really don't like Tsumugi. No, it's not because of the ending, it's because of Tsumugi's characterization throughout the series. She literally doesn't have any character besides that she's super boring and plain. If you're going to say that you're boring and plain, people are going to believe it, including me. Also, it really makes her quite obvious that she's the twist villain, or at least an antagonist. While I do hate her, I think that even she has good aspects to her. For one, making the cosplayer the mastermind of a game of truth and lies is genius. Not only are you dressing up as someone else, aka lying to yourself about who you truly are, you are dressing yourself as someone who doesn't exist, aka lying about being alive. Her cosplay shtick also helps with the twist that the V3 game is fake and whether fiction truly matters or not. Man, the themes in V3 are so well thought out. So while I hate her ending, she's not the worst character out there. But she's still not that good. 3.5 out of 10. And that's it! We're finally done with this video. Here's the full tier list to see how all these characters stack up against one another. Do you agree with my opinions, or do you find a problem with them? Let me know in the comments. I just find it hilarious that, in hindsight, this was supposed to be a 10-minute video to pass the time while I think of a script for another 10-minute video talking about Leon. Now look at it. It's over an hour long and 1,500 words. That's crazy! I'm happy you guys were able to go on this crazy little journey with me, and I'll see you later. When will later be? I don't know. But I will return someday.